All right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. Want to give a special thanks to Adidas20. Thanks a lot, my man, for your continued support of this channel. And also want to send a special thanks to The Real Siberius. Thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. In this video here, I just wanted to share some information that I've had for a while. This was actually one of the criterias I used when ranking players. And that is players who don't lose series when they take a lead, even 1-0. Now, obviously, the farther you go and the bigger the lead, the worse it kind of is. So if you're a guy who's getting 3 wins before the team even gets 2, if you're up 3-1, 3-2, and you're not closing the deal a few times, yeah, that was held against you. And if you have a bunch of them, that's held against you. One player who wasn't in my actual top 25 that really surprised me was Rick Barry. He only lost 1 series ever in which he led. That was pretty impressive. But I'll get right into it with my top 25. Here we go. Elgin Baylor lost 5 times in which he led in a series. 1960 and 61 against St. Louis, he was up 3-2, lost 4-3. In 1962 against Boston, up 3-2, lost in the finals. Also 66, Boston in the finals, they were up 1-0 only, which, yeah, 1-0 is not a big deal, but still, it's a lead. Lost 4-3, and then in 69, in the finals, they were up 3-2, and that's when they just got Wilt, and they lost 4-3. All told, 5 times for Elgin Baylor. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he lost in 2017 to Toronto in the first round, up 2-1, lost 4-2, meaning he lost 3 in a row. 2019 against Toronto, this one here is tough to swallow. Up 2-0 in the East Finals and lost 4 straight, losing 4-2. 2022 against Boston in the East Semis, they're up 3-2 and then lose 4-3. So Giannis has actually had 3 pretty bad losses as far as leading in the series. Being up 2-1, 2-0, and 3-2. Yeah, you probably should have won at least one of those. 2-1 isn't as bad, but still, you only need 2 more wins, and the other team's got to win 3. You just got to prevent them from getting 3 out of 5. Nikola Jokic also has 3. 2019 against Portland in the West Semis, up 3-2, lost 4-3. Last year against Minnesota in the semis, up 3-2, lost 4-3. And this season against Oklahoma City, up 2-1, lost 4-3. Now, obviously, you don't hold too much weight against Jokic for that one. Oklahoma City was the better team. Denver was the 4 seed, I believe, and Oklahoma City the 1 seed. So, yeah, not really that bad. But all 3, as long as he doesn't get any more of these, he should be okay. But if he starts racking them up, I don't know. Are people going to take notice of that? Is it even a big deal to them? Let me know in the comments. Is it a big deal to you if people have leads in series and then blow them? Because at the end of it, you're going to see some players who did not blow very many at all. And that's why you have to take that into account. Now, again, this is just one criteria out of many, but still, it's something that needs to be taken into consideration nonetheless. Kevin Durant. In the 2012 finals, they were up 1-0 against Miami, then they lost 4 in a row. And I know people say there's controversy around that series. Maybe, maybe not. But that's 4 in a row he lost. 2013, the next season against Memphis in the semis, up 1-0. Again, lost 4 in a row, 4-1. 2016 against Golden State in the West Finals, up 3-1, lost 3 in a row, lost 4-3. In 2021 against Milwaukee in the East Semis, up 3-2, lost the last 2, lost the series 4-3. So 4 times for Kevin Durant. David Robinson only twice, and they were both only 1-0 leads. 91 against Golden State in the first round, and this is just a best of 5. Lost 3-1, and then 94 against Utah in the first round, up 1-0, lost 3-1. So yeah, they're there, but that's really not bad at all. Only twice. Yeah, not bad at all in my mind. Bob Pettit, he's got 4 of them. 56 against the Fort Wayne Pistons. I think that was his rookie season, or maybe second year. I think it was his second season. West Finals, they were up 2-0 and lost 3 in a row, so lost 3-2. 1957 in the finals against Boston, they were up 2-1 and then lost 4-3. 59 West Finals, this one was crazy because this was before Jerry West. Elgin Baylor was there, but they didn't have much else. Bob Pettit's Hawks were up 2-1. They lost 4-2, so that means they lost 3 straight. And then in the 64 West Finals, they're up 2-1 and lost 4-3, and that would have been Wilt Chamberlain that season. Kevin Garnett. Garnett's only got 4, but again, he hasn't played a ton of playoff series. 1998 against Seattle. First round, they're up 2-1. They lose 3-2. In 2003 against the Lakers, they're up 2-1, lose 4-2. In 2010 against the Lakers, when he was on Boston, up 3-2 in the finals. But Kobe and the Lakers ended up beating them 4-3. And then 2012 in the East Finals, they were up 3-2. I think Bosh missed some games in that series. And then Miami won the last 2, winning 4-3. So 4 times for Kevin Garnett. Karl Malone has several. 1987 against Golden State in the first round. They're up 2-0 and then lose 3 in a row. The next year in 88, they're up 2-1 on the 88 Lakers. That was impressive. They lost 4-3. They played them really tough, but just couldn't beat them. Obviously, the Lakers were a superior team. Sure, you can take that into consideration. 1990 Phoenix, they're up 1-0, lost 3-2. 93 in the first round against Seattle, up 2-1, lost 3-2. 95 against Houston, up 2-1, lost 3-2. Seems to be a theme here. In 98 against the Bulls in the finals, they're up 1-0, they lost 4-2. In 99 against Portland, they're up 1-0, lost 4-2. And then in 01 against Dallas, they're up 2-0 in the first round and lost 3-2. That would have been 3 straight. So most of these, 5 of them were in the first round, where it's easier to get eliminated because the other team just needs that 3rd win. But still, yeah, that's 8 times for Karl Malone. That definitely isn't good. It's a good thing that he scored high on other criterias because he was definitely not good on this one. George Mikan, 1950-51 against Rochester in the West Finals. They were up only 1-0, but Rochester beat them 3 straight against that stacked Minneapolis team. That was the only loss Mikan ever suffered in which he led. Oscar Robertson, he's got 4 of them. 63 and 66 against Boston. He's up 2-1. They lost 4-3 and 3-2. 72 against the Lakers. They're up only 1-0. They lost 4-2. 73, this one here, against a much inferior team. They're up 2-1 in the West semifinals, but lost 4-2, lost 3 straight to a very inferior team. That was a big upset. So 4 for Robertson. Moses Malone, didn't have a lot. 1986 against Milwaukee, they're up 2-1, they lost 4-3. 89 against Milwaukee in the first round, up 1-0, lost 3-2. 91 against Detroit, they're up 1-0, lost 3-2. So 3 for Moses Malone. Not bad. Steph Curry, he's only got 2, but one of them is historic. 2014 against the Clippers in the first round, they're up 1-0, they get beat 4-3. 2016 finals against Cleveland, up 3-1, lost 4-3. But it's only the 2 for Curry. But one of them is pretty bad. But there were circumstances around it. We all know what they were. Jerry West has 5 of them. 61 West Finals against St. Louis, up 3-2, lost 4-3. That's rough. 1962 Finals against Boston, up 3-2, lost 4-3. 66 Finals against Boston, up 1-0, lost 4-3. 69 Finals, the one just like Elgin Baylor, up 3-2, lost 4-3. And then in 1973 Finals, they're up 1-0, and then New York won 4 in a row on them. Lost 4-1, that's 5 for West. Dr. J got 5 also. 2 of them in the ABA. 1972 in the East Finals, they're up 3-2. They lost 2 in a row, lost the series 4-3. 1975 against St. Louis, the Spirit of St. Louis in the ABA. In the East semis, they're only up 1-0. They lost 4-1, but that's 4 straight he lost. 77 Finals against Portland. They're up 2-0 and lost 4 in a row. That was also not good. How about in 1981 against Boston? They're up 3-1 and got beat. He's got a few of these series where he had nice leads in the series and got beat. 86 against Milwaukee in the East semis. They're up 2-1 and lost 4-3. 5 is just, not really that great for old Dr. J. LeBron James, 2006 Detroit would have been his second playoff series ever in the East semis. They're up 3-2, lost 4-3. Detroit won 2 in a row. 2010 against Boston in the East semis, up 2-1, lost 4-2. In the 2011 and the 2015 finals, they're up 2-1, lost 4-2. And then in 2021 against Phoenix in the first round, up 2-1, lost 4-2. So lost 3 straight in 4 of them and 2 straight in 1 of them. 5 total. Shaquille O'Neal, only twice. 2005 Detroit East Finals when he was on Miami, up 3-2, lost 4-3. 2010 against Boston in the East semis, just like LeBron, because he was on LeBron's team, up 2-1, lost 4-2. So only twice for Shaq, not bad. Tim Duncan's got quite a few. 2004 West semis, up 2-0 on the Lakers, lost 4-2. 2006 against Dallas in the West semis, up 1-0, lost 4-3. 2012 against OKC, this was bad. Up 2-0 in the West Finals, lost 4 in a row and lost that series 4-2. 2013 Finals, we all know about this one, the Ray Allen game, up 3-2, lost 4-3. 2015 against the Clippers, up 3-2, lost 4-3. That was in the first round. And then in Duncan's last season in 2016, on a 67-win team, they're up 2-1 on OKC in the semifinals and lost 4-2. So that happened to Duncan several times in his career, 6 total. Hakeem Olajuwon, pretty short here. Only one he ever lost in which he led at any point was the 1998 first round against Utah. They were up 2-1, and Utah won the last 2 to win it 3-2. That's it. That's all Olajuwon had. I think that's excellent for a guy who had such little help his whole career. Wilt Chamberlain, less than I thought it was, but he's got a couple bad ones. The 1968 East Finals, up 3-1 against Boston. Boston wins 3 in a row, wins that series 4-3. 1969 Finals, the one just like Jerry West, just like Elgin Baylor, they were up 2-0 and 3-2 and lost that series 4-3. And then in 73, just like Jerry West against the Knicks in the finals, up 1-0, lost 4-1. That's not a big deal being up 1-0, but still, it's a lead. That's 3 for him. Larry Bird's got 5 also. 82 East Finals, up 1-0, lost 4-3. 85 Finals, up 1-0, lost 4-2. The 1990 first round, this is probably the worst loss of Larry Bird's career as far as because they were up 2-0 in the first round in a best of 5. They just need one more game against the Knicks. The Knicks beat them 3 straight. Patrick Ewing beat Larry Bird, but Jordan didn't. I guess that means Ewing is better than Jordan, right? According to Isaiah Thomas? Yeah, exactly. 91 against Detroit. Now, Bird was hurt in this series. It was not himself. He averaged like 13 points a game or something. They were up 2-1. They lost 4-2. And then in the 92 East semis, Bird was also hurt and missed a few games there. They're up 2-1 and lost 4-3. I don't know. That one's tough to hold against Bird, but he did play slightly more than half the series. That's 5 for Bird. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's got 4. 1972 against the Lakers, up 1-0, lost 4-2. 73 against Golden State, that bad upset that Oscar also has. Up 2-1, lost 4-2. 1984 against Boston, they're up 2-1, lost 4-3. 1986 against Houston, they're up 1-0 and then got gentlemen swept in the West Finals by Olajuwon and Sampson and company. And that was a very big upset, no question. Kobe Bryant, his only one of his whole career, was 2006 against Phoenix in the first round. Phoenix was, I think, the 2 seed, like a 61 or 62 win team. But the Lakers were up 3-1 on them, and Phoenix came back to beat them 4-3. That is a bad loss, being up 3-1. But that's the only one Kobe has, though. So that's got to be worth something. Magic Johnson just has 3. Just like Kareem, 84 Boston up 2-1, lost 4-3 in the finals. 86 Houston in the West Finals up 1-0, then got gentlemen swept. And then, of course, the 91 finals against the Bulls, they're up 1-0 and then got gentlemen swept. Just 3 for Magic. Bill Russell never lost a series in which he led in his whole career. The only one on this list. Amazing. Michael Jordan The only one he ever lost, 1989 East semifinals. The Bulls were up 2-1 and they lost 4-2. That's it. Even though the Bulls were only a 47-win 6 seed, they somehow got the lead on Detroit. It was a 63-win team, the best record in the NBA, but they lost 3 in a row, and that was that. So when you tally it all up and you go player by player, Karl Malone has the worst out of all 25 players, 8 times for Karl Malone. But next to last, Tim Duncan, 6 times lost a lead and then lost the series. Tim Duncan, 6 times, led in a series and eventually lost the series. Then we get to the people that lost 5 of them. That's a pretty substantial list. You got Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Dr. J, Larry Bird, and LeBron James. So this is still the bottom 7 on this list. And then you include the people that lost 4 times. That's still going to be bottom half because that's another 5 players. That'll be 12. That's the bottom half. That would be Oscar Robertson, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant, Bob Pettit, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then you get into the top half. 3 times losing a series in which you led. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Moses Malone, Wilt Chamberlain, and Magic Johnson. Like I said, if Giannis or Jokic don't do this again, they'll be fine. But if they keep doing it, yeah, people should take notice about that. Now we got the players who only lost twice in which they led in a series. David Robinson, Steph Curry, Shaquille O'Neal. The players who only lost once. We're in the top 5 now. This is a very elite group of players. The players who only lost 1 series in their whole career in which they led. George Mikan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan was up in a lot of series, but then teams would come back and tie it. And then they would have to overcome the tie and then win the series. Like in 1989.
Keys whips the ball into Elo. Elo back outside, wants to do a 3. Ends up putting it up right on the 3-point line. It counts for 2. He has 19 points. Ball inside to Cartwright, and the game is over. The final score, the Chicago Bulls 95, the Cleveland Cavaliers 88. And we'll be back to wrap it up after this 2-minute timeout on the Cleveland Cavaliers Radio Basketball Network.
So the Bulls were up 2-1, but Cleveland came right back in game 4 and tied it up. So then, this is how the series ended.
Pippen brings it across, defended by Harper. 11 seconds to go. In the middle of the floor, Jordan has it. And Jordan puts up a jumper and hits with 6 seconds to go. Jordan hits the basket and now has 42 points in the game, and the Cavaliers have called a timeout. Inbound. He gets it into Nance, gets the ball back, drives to the hoop, lays it in with 3 seconds to go. Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Michael Jordan hit the basket at the buzzer.
Yeah, Jordan won that series, not single-handedly, but pretty close, you could say. How about 1992 against a very tough New York Knicks team in the semifinals? They take game 1. The Bulls win game 2, and then this is what happened in game 3.
He has 27, and the Chicago Bulls have taken a 2-1 lead in this best of 7 playoff series. A very physical game once again.
So there you see, the Bulls are up 2-1. The Knicks come back and win game 4, tie it up again. So what do the Bulls do in game 5 at home?
And this is also the most points that Chicago scored in a game against New York, 96. Until now, 94 was the high. Neither team breaks 100, but the Bulls take a 3-2 lead, 96-88 from Chicago Stadium.
Now they're up 3-2. But then in game 6, the Knicks tie it up again. 3 times this series now is tied. So then in game 7, here's the deal.
Wondering if Oakley and Jordan going to be his closest friends in the summertime after this series.
Well, the 2 teams do shake hands as they head back to their respective locker room. The Chicago Bulls have defeated the New York Knicks 110-81 to take this grueling series in 7. The Bulls move on to face the Cavaliers.
The Bulls made short work of them and blew them out. Obviously, they were tired of fooling around with them, but don't be fooled. The Knicks were a tough matchup for the Bulls. That video that I did a couple days ago about that idiot FYF talking about, oh, a super team. The Knicks roster was just as good. It just was. I mean, they had good players on that team. I think they had Mark Jackson at point guard, or maybe it was Doc Rivers. One or the other. They had a point guard. They had John Starks. They had Anthony Mason. They had Xavier McDaniel. They had Charles Oakley. They had Patrick Ewing. I'm sure I'm missing somebody in there. They had a good team. Their roster, once you got to about the third player, was just better and deeper than the Bulls were. And they tested the Bulls. Absolutely they did. Pushed them to 7 games. The last player on the list, what can you say? Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics. Oh, the roster was so stacked. A bunch of Hall of Famers, blah, blah, blah. But to never lose a series in which you led, no one's ever done it. That's it. I think it's just, him and probably Sam Jones. That's it. There is no one else. Maybe any of the other Celtics who played in that time frame, like Tom Heinsohn, sure. Throw them in there. But we know who the best player was. And this is the only team that could ever say that. Would have been the Boston Celtics in the late 50s into the late 60s. You know how I feel about Bill Russell? If you've been watching this channel, I don't let people talk down to him about his field goal percentage or who his teammates were. You still have to go out there and win the games. They're not just given to you. You have to actually earn it on the court. And how many times have we seen a favorite go down? Happens a lot. In fact, I think it's 31 of the last 50 favorites for the NBA Finals lost. Something like that. Pretty sure that's right. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.